obviously a tough loss for us this past Wednesday night, but we get a chance to get back and go to Nebraska and get a road win, which I think is always important in this time of the year if you're gonna play in postseason. So we didn't do anything yesterday. We'll have a very light workout today, and then really go after it tomorrow, the day before the game. I want to try to use these 2 days to get the guys, the Derek Waltons and the Zach Irvins and Muhammad DJ, a little bit, I think 2 days in a row of a little bit more rest at this time of the year is better than practicing them harder. So we disappointed with the loss. We had some really good moments in it. We had some very poor individual defense in that game that really was difficult for us to, seemed like they got a lot of easy baskets and we didn't. And we're trying to address that, but that's really harder to do than you think, but we have too many blow-bys in that game. So we had to just keep working and see what we can do. We'll go over that last play and see get their thoughts on what happened as well. You can't let that guy get behind us, and he did. At the same time, we'll learn from it and get better from it. Reminds me a lot of the Wisconsin game where a couple of years ago we had a half-court shot. We didn't defend it the best, and then we learned from it and had to do it twice more that year against Kansas and against Syracuse, and did a good job against it. So we'll have to grow from it.
Chris?
DJ has struggled in the glass the last couple of games. What do you?
Yeah, 5 games. Yeah. He sees it right now. He could be a little tired right now, and that's why we give him off. Yeah, he only had his last 8 games are in the league are last 8 games are much different than his first 22 with his rebounding. So it's a trend he's aware of right now, and he's got a few less minutes, but it's something he's got to address.
And then you talked about blow-bys. That was a problem against Nebraska the first time around.
Yeah.
How do you address
Really,
it?
they scored 85 points.
Yeah.
That is tough. It is tough because their guards are so quick and so skilled. And, we just, I think we're better than we were then, but we got to be a lot better. A road game with those elite guards, at least they certainly look elite when they're playing against us. Now, this is a team that's won at Ohio State, it's won at Maryland, it's won at Indiana when they were at full strength. They have beaten Purdue at home. So there's like three teams right there that are all in the NCAA tournament. They beat 2 of them on the road. So that is really, I'm sorry, 1 team, Maryland's in the NCAA tournament for sure. That's a heck of a win for them, and they've had good wins, something we couldn't do. I think they beat Iowa as well. I believe they beat Iowa as well. Some teams that we haven't beaten, they've beaten.
Imagine you learn a little bit about a group after a game like that. What you see?
Well, I'll know more. I mean, we like I said, we had to give them the day off yesterday, and but we had film today. But there's great teaching moments in this, and they were really emotionally. You could tell by their emotion how difficult it was for them. And now that's our job as coaches right now, to make them don't say, okay, it'll get better the next day. So okay, here's the plan for us to make it better the next day.
And when you look at that final play, what are your teaching points on that?
Well, the bad thing is you can't see any of the action at half court, mine or the TV.
Right.
You cannot see it. You only see the pass, and they foul it, and I can't see what exactly happened.
Did they cross and slip?
I do not know. I wanted to make sure Mark was giving pressure on the ball, and by the time I looked to see what Mark was doing, because he was moved way back, the ball was in the air, and then I said, oh my goodness. We have a back of the end zone catch going here with a jump ball, Hail Mary type of thing, and we're in trouble when I could see that what had happened. So we're going to recreate it now.
Rachel.
Okay, but yeah, after the game, immediately after, even yesterday with the day off, people reach out to you about that play, like kind of what happened there, or good things, bad things. Well,
I think
what's
people
kind of
know
the
me well enough to stay the hell away from me and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you coach long enough, you seen, I told Tom, told Matt, probably had 20 of those go either way over time. I mean, I've had everyone with an up 2 with an 80% foul shooter at the line, and the guy made one from 3/4 court. SMU, a long time ago. I mean, it's just, there's just some things that you just say, okay, what could we have done better earlier in the game to make a difference? There's just some plays that just happen, and you'd like to have the great defensive scheme to stop it. But the way DJ has to gather sometimes before he jumps, that they have a jump ball between him and Pardon. Pardon's gonna usually win that. I think he did win the jump ball to start the game. So that jump ball, whether Derek was there or not, might not have made a difference. It was so perfectly thrown. I do know that, it was a tap horn through the pass, tap horn, yeah. A tap horn, you see the rest. My guys can't throw football. They never played baseball. When Nick Stauskas tried to throw a basketball the first time, like a baseball, it was ugly. It's not, a lot of them can't do it. That kid was either a center fielder, a shortstop, or a quarterback, because he threw it perfectly. There was no air in it. It was a straight line.
When you say recreate it this afternoon, you just mean have the guys literally on the court?
Yeah, I want to see exactly what happened, because I still don't know what happened in the switch. What I did learn that if the guy, because we couldn't move, that's why we put a guy on him, and that really took away the half-court pass. I was worried about, as I said before, I was worried about McIntosh getting something rolling, one dribble, Evan Turner, 30 feet, bang. That's what I was more worried about. I was not worried about that particular play. Now that I look at it, I better be worried about that in the future.
Duncan Robinson's defense and his defensive rebounding seem to be a lot better these last few weeks. I guess how, in season does that happen?
He has made some really good positive moves in that direction. People are still going to pick on him over and over again. And I think he's well aware of it, that they're picking on him, and that he's got now play better angles. So he'll get caught he'll get caught playing defense sometimes without the idea they're running this play at me and not knowing where they're gonna go with it, and he still gets caught. But he has that in his rebounding, a big block shot that started a fast break. He's making really good improvements.
And then X, he gave some
Yeah.
good minutes in the first
Yeah,
half.
yeah,
especially.
so that's one of the ways and who knows where it will go, but that's one of the ways we can improve our defense, is get them on the floor more. That he got this wasn't a steal, but it was a deflection that he got, and he got a basket, or he started a fast break. He's doing some much better things right now that help us defensively. So get him on the floor more helps our defense.
Justin?
You mentioned giving them a plan to go forward. Is that strictly X's and O's, here's what we did wrong, here's what we need to do against Nebraska, or is there a kind of a psychological component, we're still in good shape, and encouraging them past this?
No, I do not tell them they're in good shape. I tell them this is, your butt is against the wall right now, and you gotta win more games. And it's that simple. As I said to you before, as I alluded, where the switching of the ball at all screens now is what we anticipated Northwestern did. We practiced it, we did okay, we didn't do good enough. It was one of the few times we didn't have a 1.0 OER, but it was close, but still had to be better. They were really good at what they were doing as well, and we had to play better offense. And now we're gonna see that. When you got a guy do what he did to Purdue, you're gonna see a lot of ball screen switching, and we're all learning. But don't forget, we haven't had a 5-man that could shoot since Deshaun Sims was here. So having that 5-man that can really shoot now has given us a new great opportunities, but also people now guard you differently, and we're trying to adjust.
Chris?
John Teskey had the rough stretch, obviously,
Yeah.
in Wisconsin. What's his future in terms of, does he have the confidence, do you think? Is it a confidence thing right now with him?
He has to, yeah. When you've never come off the bench before in your life, it's difficult. So as we went into this point of the season, after watching him in games, watching him in practices, watching everything, we just felt, let's put him back on the scout team. Let's get him more and more reps. He's done fine. And let's have DJ would be our primary third guy if we need it. Now, Mark did a good job, backing up Mo the other day. If we have to go to that third big man, let's get somebody out there with a little bit more experience based on the way these games, what of our last couple of games, we did get Purdue, but we got Minnesota overtime, last second shots, right? We got Rutgers, they got a 3, they could have tied it. This game, buzzer shot, those little things matter right now. So if we don't absolutely need him right now, why press that? And just work on his development, just like the same plan we have with Austin.
It's hindsight, but did you consider putting him on the ball with his reach?
Yeah, before we went in there, but, we just said it's 6'9", 7'1", it might have, but the way he threw it, I could see that. It was a good foot over his arms, because he moved way, way back. He played side saddle, and boom.
And then Ibby's progress, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's been he's making, we put him on the scout team, we take him off the scout team, put him on. It looks like right now, he's showed some real promise in practice. At some other times, it's just, there's the whole thing of whether it's learning offense, learning defense. Like most freshmen, it is a big part about defense right now, about doing that, and then you're gonna get opportunities to play in games. And when you're playing games, if you get it done, it helps you if you're not getting it done in practice regularly on a consistent basis. So he's got to put those two together.
You said you were up against a little bit. I'm curious how comfortable you are in relation to the tournament and how much of a topic that is, how much of a conversation, how much you talk about that again?
Well, because this is the business, I am curious what people say. But with the team, I am just saying, no, we have more work to do. And that's our only approach from this point. I look at what people prognosticate, and I will root against certain teams if I know that that's what they say. But I trust those guys in that room, as I've said every time. They're much better. They won't always get it 100% right when you think of all the variables and trying to cross over the leagues. I do believe very much in the Big Ten, and I believe that if there's conferences that are out there getting 8, 9, 10 bids, the Big Ten should probably be one of those, because we have shown once we got to play against each other, even the teams that had really good non-conference wins are no different than the teams that are in our 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, what Iowa did last night, right? And what Illinois is doing right now, Michigan State, Michigan, all of us. We played tough non-conference schedules. And but now that our teams are practiced and we're better, we could play with a lot of people, just like any other conference, probably even more.
In adjusting to those switches all across,
Then switching.
them switching on,
Yes.
on all your screens, what is exactly the biggest thing you want to address, and is the hardest part getting those looks for Mo that you were getting before?
Yeah.
And how can you do that?
There's a couple of things. People switch to take away his three-point shot. And also, now they can get more people around him in the post. So if we do get a mismatch in the post, they'll swarm the post with the 30-second shot clock. That's why people switch a lot late in the clock. You gotta make those decisions in 6 or 7 seconds. One bad angle, one move, all of a sudden you got a turnover. And so those are things that I said, this is for life now. For life, you gotta get ready for this. That when people switch a ball screen on you and don't let you just have a shot, that here's the next step in your development. Actually, we started working on it last spring before he went back to Germany, just saying, I anticipate this happening. So now he's sort of seeing it as it's come around, and now that's the next aspect of his game of schematically, we have some things we can do, but for him to just take somebody down low, now they switched and took McIntosh off Derek so that they could switch better once we exploited a little bit of that. So there's two things, getting it to Mo, and then be able to really handle a 5-man guarding a 1 on the perimeter. To shoot it, have a good blend of shooting. The worst mistake our guys make, they start pounding the ball, and now they go out of the old triple threat. Get into triple threat, attack them, like you were playing them one-on-one, and it was a checkup. All right, play checkup right there. Get it one-on-one and play. If that shot clock's not, because you can't run anything more with 7 seconds to go.
I know that Gene talked to you about the lane violation
Mhm.
after the game, but it looked like Terry was actually waving guys in, and Derek said he thought he got the nod. Did you get a satisfactory answer on that?
Yeah, I did, and
Okay.
you can see it. The ball was thrown as Derek turned and ran.
Yep.
And the ball was in Mo's hands as he turned and ran in there. And like I said, Derek was listening to the officials, but Derek's never been in there, but he was just a really compliant kid doing the right thing. So there were some odd things happen, and that is, we just gotta live with it and say, okay, sorry we don't usually huddle up like that, but I was very concerned. They were really having trouble running some action, so I thought it was a great time. to huddle them up and not worry about having anybody on the line. Now, if somebody else had been shooting, Mo would have probably been already on the line, or it wouldn't have gone in there, but it just happened. So, dumb luck there.